Howdy folks, welcome to episode 21 of Do Not Worry. I'm your host Anthony, coming to you once again from the heart of Beirut in Jaetewe. There's a possibility that this might be the final episode that I ever shoot here in Beirut. I'm going to be moving to my parents' apartment in June, in 09 motherfuckers. So I'm not sure if I'm going to keep my studio here or move everything over there. So this might be the last time I record an episode from here in Beirut. Also, heads up, there's no episode next week. There's not going to be an episode next week. I'm taking a week off because my parents, both of them, are moving to the US permanently or semi-permanently. So I'm going to be spending a lot of time with them. My sister is coming over from the US for a few days to help them move. So I'm just going to have a lot on my plate. I'm going to be spending some quality time with the family. So no episode next week. Hopefully this episode holds you over until then. And you can catch up on the older videos if you haven't seen them. Guys, as usual, please take a second to like this video. Leave a comment, engage with this video. Your engagement is extremely helpful for this channel. Anytime you guys leave a like, leave a comment, it helps the video appear on the recommended section. So definitely a great help for a small independent channel like mine. Subscribe to the channel if you have not done so yet. Become a Do Not Warrior. I'm launching a second podcast at the end of this month or the beginning of July. It's going to be a lot of fun. I have an awesome co-host. We're planning everything out right now, so you definitely do not want to miss out on that. So subscribe to the channel to be the first to know when that drops. Folks, we got a lot of interesting topics this week. Now, I know what you guys are thinking. I'm talking about Toufiluk, Daddy, Foody, and Joseph Chada all in this one episode. They're all people I've talked about just over the last few weeks in the last few episodes. Just a lot of shit happened this week, okay? I'm not trying to harp on these people all the time. And Joseph Chada, I honestly don't have anything bad to say about him this week. We're just going to be... He made a TikTok about me, thanking me for talking about him a couple of episodes ago and clarifying some things that he had said. So we're just going to talk about that. But yeah, in terms of topics, we're talking about crazy restaurant prices in Lebanon. What's happening with the prices? We're going to look at some of that stuff. There's a girl who pushed a bear to protect her dogs. That's pretty badass. We're going to react to that footage. Daddy Foody left a really creepy comment on a before and after plastic surgery photo. I've never seen anyone do that before, so we're going to talk about that. Toufiluk, I talked about him plagiarizing a bunch of stuff last week. We have video evidence of him plagiarizing a TikTok, so we're going to talk about that this week. Joseph Chada, as we've mentioned before, and I'm going to give you guys a review of the Friends reunion. So without further ado, let's get kicked off. So for the first topic, there's this picture that went viral on Twitter, all over WhatsApp, all over social media. Someone ordered a beef shawarma sandwich and a chicken shawarma sandwich from a restaurant called Sharif. And the bill turned out to be 146 thou. So the beef shawarma cost 98 thou. 98 Lebanese liras, and the chicken shawarma was 48 thou. So, I mean, those are probably the most expensive shawarma sandwiches in the country. So that stuff went viral. Now, I've never ate from Sharif. I hear it's a pretty good restaurant, but I've heard it's always been relatively expensive. Obviously, now is a different story given the whole exchange rate. But, like, to be fair, I've never tried their place. If you guys would like to rectify that over at Sharif, I'm open for some food. I'm just kidding, or am I? So that made me kind of want to talk about food prices in Lebanon. I order out a lot. I live alone. I don't really have a lot of time to cook. I don't like to cook much. It just takes too much time, the prep, the cleaning. It's just too much of a hassle. And I lived in the States for like 8 years all by myself. I cooked a lot over there. So when I came back here and I had my family here, I was like, you know what? I'm never going to cook again. Now that my parents are leaving, though, I'm very afraid. I'm very afraid. But anyways, I opened up a few menus on Zomato just to compare some of the prices of the most common restaurants I would figure that people order from. So I have Crepaway open. Everyone likes Crepaway, and the prices are comparable to Roadster if you prefer Roadster. I have McDonald's open, everyone's favorite fast food restaurant. Melik Tawu, pretty common and popular restaurant. Spiced and Sliced, since like they're a pretty good reference for shawarma sandwiches. And two more expensive sort of plat du jour type restaurants like Marioul and Sharif. Sharif is a Lebanese restaurant. But let's start with Crepaway, for example. So scrolling down the menu. For example, classic burger at Crepaway is now 48 thou. Which, you know, back in the day, that would have been $30. I don't think that includes fries or a drink or anything. So 48 thou will get you a classic burger from Crepaway. A chicken avocado sandwich, 44 thou. And by the way, I'm not shitting on any restaurant for increasing their prices. I understand the situation in Lebanon. I understand that like meat is now 120 thou per kilo of beef. It's literally the most expensive kilo of beef in the world now. So I understand restaurants having to raise their prices because prices all over the country are all over the place. So this isn't an indictment. I'm sure some restaurants, or maybe even many restaurants, are taking advantage of the situation and maybe raising prices more than they should. I don't know. I'm not getting into any of that right now. Let's just look at the prices and just kind of, figure out how it is. So here they have a bunch of sandwiches for 25 thou, which relatively now feels cheap. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and I honestly, I'm having a hard time even remembering what we used to pay for food. Like, I'm getting so used to these prices that I'm starting to forget what stuff used to cost. But like, yeah, look, a quinoa strawberry salad is 53 thou at Crepaway. That's insane. A chicken Caesar salad with chicken tenders in there, 46 thou for a chicken salad, basically. A shrimp Caesar salad, 59 thou at Crepaway. God damn, bro. A chicken Caesar, a regular chicken Caesar, is 48 thou. So again, the equivalent of like $33 back in the day. If you have fresh dollars, though, that 48 thou is like $4 to you. So, you know what I mean? It really all depends on how much money you have and what kind of money you're paid. Switching over to McDonald's. Jesus fucking Christ, McDonald's. It's kind of depressing looking at the prices at McDonald's. So any kind of meal, basically, the small meal is going to be 35 thou or 34 thou. So here, a McChicken burger meal is 34 thou. If you try to, if you go to a large meal, that's 37 thou. Sorry, medium meal. So if you go to a medium meal, that's 37 thou. And if you go to a large meal, that's 40 thou or 41 thou for most burgers. Yeah, that's pretty insane. Okay, so if you're just getting a double cheeseburger, the small little double cheeseburger that used to cost like $3 or $4, it's now 25 thou. Now again, if you earn money in dollars in Lebanon, that's $2 for you. If you earn, at 1,500, that's almost $20 for a little double cheeseburger. That's insane. The little beef burger, the one that costs $1 in the US and that used to cost about, maybe $2 here, it's now 9 thou. A cheeseburger, the little one, sandwich without anything else, is 10 thou. And a chicken burger, the little one, is 10 thou. The filet-o-fish is 26 thou. That is almost $20. That is like $18 for filet-o-fish, if we're counting the official rate of 1,500. If you think that's expensive, look at the prices for the nuggets. Okay, chicken McNuggets. 6 chicken McNuggets are 22 thou. You want 9 nuggies? You want some of those nuggies? 25 thou for 9 nuggies. Oh my God. Meleket Taout has always been known for its massive, shish taout sandwiches, massive and affordable. It was the people's shish taout restaurant. You know what I mean? How much did a shish taout sandwich at Meleket Taout cost? Like 5 thou. Then eventually it became like 6, then 7 thou, but it was always extremely affordable. The large taout sandwich is now 23 thou at Meleket Taout. Again, I'm not blaming any of these restaurants for raising their prices, but yeah, it's now unaffordable for a lot of people. For like 50% of the country, this food is now unaffordable. 23 thou for Meleket Taout. Like, that's when things have gone fucked up, is when Meleket Taout sandwiches are 23 thou. If we go to Spiced and Sliced, now, and I know before you guys say anything, I know it's affiliated with, I think the owner of Spiced and Sliced is the son of the Kebabji owner, who I know there's like government people in there, like Frangiye or Sanyura. I think there's Sanyura people involved in there. So I know. But let's just use it as a reference for like shawarma sandwiches right now. The original meat shawarma sandwich is 24 thou. If you want to get the larger size, it's 26 thou. So 26 thou for a beef shawarma sandwich. A chicken shawarma sandwich is also the same price, 24 thou for the regular size, 26 thou for the big price. To compare, a shawarma sandwich used to cost anywhere from like 5 thou, maybe up to 8 thou at the most. And Spiced and Sliced was very affordable when it first opened. Like, I remember ordering from there a few times. You'd get a side of fries, a sandwich, and like a side of hummus. Extremely affordable. It is now way more expensive. Again, unless you have dollars. If you have dollars, this stuff is cheaper than ever. Now, there's a couple of other restaurants. Like, there's this restaurant called Marioul. Now, this has always been kind of expensive, but now that prices are crazy everywhere, it's even more expensive. So if you want to get like a beef shawarma taco, that's 45 thou. Los Pollos Hermanos taco, 33 thou. Sandwich, their beef shawarma sandwich is 45 thou. So, I mean, compared to Sharif, that is very affordable. In terms of mains, like a siadiyya, which is a traditional like Lebanese or Arab meal with rice and fish and stuff, is 65 thou, a plate of siadiyya. A plate of mughrabi is 55 thou. So, I mean, again, as you can tell, expensive prices for dishes that are very common, very, shabe, traditional dishes. Again, not blaming anyone for these prices, but, Sharif. By the way, I'm not sure if this menu is updated. This is just the one I found on Zomato. Tabbouleh is 27 thou. Fattoush salad is 27 thou. Plate of hummus is 27 thou. Usually at restaurants, a hummus plate used to be around like, I don't know, man, like 7 thou to like 10 thou. Again, I'm starting to forget. Mlokhiyeh is 28 thou. That's not bad, I guess. I don't even know anymore. Sandwiches, so a falafel sandwich is 32 thou. That is pretty fucking crazy. So a falafel sandwich, well, actually now it's about like 10 thou in Lebanon, 8 to 10 thou. So this is about 3 times the price. Shish taouk sandwich, 48 thou. Grilled meat sandwich, 75 thou. Kibbeh skewers, 55 thou. Burger, 95 thou. So that is like $60 at the official rate. Goddamn, yeah, it's pretty crazy. And as we mentioned, the shawarma sandwich is 98 thou, the beef shawarma sandwich. Anyways, I don't mean to shit on any of these restaurants. Again, I get it. Almost every single restaurant has raised their prices in one way or another. It is just unfortunate that this is where we've gotten, So like Sharif, while that is an extreme example, definitely an extreme example, it applies everywhere. It is very hard to afford eating out unless you have dollars, or even if you have lollars at 3,900 at that rate, you're still better off. But everyone else is majorly fucked. This is pretty random. I came across this today on Twitter very randomly. There was like this bear that showed up in California in someone's backyard. And these family dogs ran towards the bear, and then like the bear was attacking the dogs. Then this girl just runs over and pushes the fucking bear away. It's fucking badass from the girl, even kind of badass from the dogs. And the bear is still kind of cute. Like the bear's just chilling there with her babies, trying to get them some food. So let's check out the video. And by the way, for everyone who was complaining last week about the cable management situation, this is for you, okay? It's much better. So you see the bear showing up with the 2 little adorable cubs, by the way. Like, they're fucking adorable. And you hear the dogs barking. Dogs, something ain't right. Boom. Bam. Bear swipes again. Goes for the little dog. Look at that girl. Bam. Fucking shoves the bear. Dude, this girl is such a badass. Okay, how fucking badass is she? She just fucking runs to the bear, bro, and shoves the shit out of the bear. Not even asking questions. Let's check that out again. Let's watch that again. Look how casually that bear is just walking, like, on that fucking thing. Oh, man. Boom! We got the dogs coming. Look at the little cubs running away. Dude, the way that girl charges at the bear, bro. And those little dogs are such badasses too. Like, the little dogs aren't taking any shit, man. They're like fucking barking at that bear. I love dogs. They're so adorable. Honestly, props to that girl. Like, that is such a fucking badass fucking G move. Seriously, goddamn, bro. I really don't have much to say on this situation, but it was such a cool video. Such a badass chick. And badass little dogs. But I do have to say, like, a big part of me feels very bad for the bear. Like, she's kind of adorable. Her cubs are adorable. It's not their fault that they're ending up in human neighborhoods. We keep, with deforestation, and we're taking over the wildlife's land. So they don't really have anywhere to go anymore to hunt, to find food, to feed their kids. So it's not the bear's fault for ending up in that neighborhood. So I feel for you, bear. You know what? We're Team Harambe over here. So I'm always going to take the side of wildlife, but that girl had to do what she had to do to protect her dogs, and that was pretty badass. You guys are going to have to apologize in advance for talking about Daddy Foody again. The infamous Daddy Foody, but he did something super creepy this time, okay? And I can't not talk about it. Guys, okay, I've seen a lot of creepy shit in my day. But this has got to take the fucking cake. So one of you, okay, the viewers, again, I can't take the blame for talking about Daddy Foody. You guys send me all of this stuff via Instagram, on Twitter, and all of that. I love you guys. Thank you so much. So someone sent me this post by Dr. Ahmad Muallid, who is a plastic surgeon who has a page on Instagram where he posts before and after photos of his clients. And he had this picture of this lady who got probably like, I don't know, like some kind of injections or something in her butt to make it a little bit bigger. So he had that picture up, and one of the comments was Daddy Foody, and it just said perfection with a burger emoji next to it. Now, like I said, I've seen a lot of creepy shit in my day, but I've never seen anyone getting off and getting turned on by a before and after plastic surgery photo. Like, that's just fucking weird. And like, you can, even if you want to get turned on by this, like, do it in secret. Do you have to leave a public comment on Instagram for everyone to fucking see? Like, dude, like, if you want to be creepy, at least try to be discreet. Not that I'm encouraging people to be creepy or to try to be like creepy discreet, but like, what the fuck, dude? What's up with the public like perfection? Like, and I don't want to hear the whole like, but Anthony, what if he's just talking about the plastic surgeon's work and that's perfection? I mean, why does he have burger buns next to it? You know what I mean? He's clearly talking about that ass. It's just so weird. It's just so fucking weird. Like, did you know the show Dr. 90210 on E? I used to love that fucking show. You know, Dr. Robert Ray and all of that, following the life of a plastic surgeon. Imagine jerking off to that. That's so fucking weird. Oh, my God, bro. And, like, there's a lot of stories about Daddy Foody being a creep. There's a story that I know that happened with a friend of mine. I'm sure there's hundreds of these comments all over Instagram. I'm sure there's tons of DMs that he sent people. You know what I mean? I have like a couple of examples here that someone sent me. I didn't feel like doing a bunch of research. Like here, there's a picture of a lady climbing out of a boat, and he says, amazing, and the pic isn't bad either, with, you know, tongue coming out of the mouth. There's this other photo of that same lady climbing out of a boat. You can kind of see her butt. He's like, postcard, bro. Now, I don't know if he's friends with the photographer or whatever, but still. And he's constantly posting sexually suggestive stories on his Instagram. Like check this out. The difference between thank you and thank you very much. Small boobs and big boobs. And then like a few minutes after he posted that, he posted him listening to a Kanye song where the lyrics are, you got D's, motherfucker, D's, Rosie Perez. Like, bro, like, what kind of brand is that? Just, like, all sex and ass, and, like, I thought you were a foodie. Like, what the fuck is up with that? The food and the sex, and, like, he's a family man. He's got a family, and, like, I don't understand it, bro. This shit's fucking creepy, and you shouldn't be doing shit like that on the internet for your family to see. It's kind of embarrassing. And his content is, like, if you look through his stories, it's like his Instagram page has an identity crisis. A couple of them are about food. Then he's selling you watches. Then it's a picture of his family. Then it's, like, a sex joke. What the fuck is this, bro? What the fuck is this? I guess when you buy half of your followers, you don't really give a fuck what content you put out. But anyways, that's just the latest in the creepy chronicles of Daddy Foody. And again, Daddy, as I said, I'm keeping an eye on you. My Do Not Warriors are keeping an eye on you. You can't get away with shit! Ain't nothing you can do without us finding out about it. So I guess stop leaving creepy comments on before and after plastic surgery photos, bro. What the fuck? I know what you guys are thinking. We talked about Toufiluk last week, and plagiarism even came up in the last episode as I was talking about Toufiluk, but this story kind of blew up and I had to talk about it. I don't like letting people getting away with plagiarism. We highlighted Daddy Foody when he tried to plagiarize the burger show for his burger show, so we're not going to let Toufiluk get away with this. So there's a Lebanese TikToker by the name of basit.nation, George Hazard. On TikTok, he also posts his stuff on Instagram and stuff. He dropped a TikTok a few weeks ago that Toufiluk completely plagiarized and ripped off. And then George dropped a TikTok highlighting that Toufiluk ripped him off. Let's watch all of the TikToks. The original one, Toufiluk's version, and then George Hazard's TikTok calling out Toufiluk. So here is the original TikTok.
معقولة؟ كل يوم بيجي بعلمكن ساعتين، كل يوم من قلبي بعلمكن. آخر شي تجيبوا لي هيك علامات؟ معقولة؟ امبارح حلينا على اللوح نفس الاكزرسيسات هن ذاتهم آخر شي تجيبوا لي معدل 10/20. كيف معدل الصف 10/20؟ كيف هيدا؟ السنة الماضية نفسه هو ذاته فحص، هو ذاته الفحص عطيته التلاميذ وجابوا معدل 15/20. كيف طيب؟ ولجاد جايب 10 كل فحوصاتك جايب 18، كيف بتجيب 10؟ كيف هيدا؟ مبسوطين بتضحكوا ورا؟
Okay, so that was the original one. Now let's check out Toufiluk's version.
معقول كل يوم بجد درسكن ساعتين، كل يوم بجد درسكن ساعتين من قلبي تا اخر شي تجيبولي معدل 10/20. معقول؟ ولك امبارح حللنا نفس الاكزرسيس على اللوح، امبارح حللنا هو ذاته تا تجيبولي اخر شي معدل 10/20. كيف؟ السنة الماضية عملت نفس الفحص وجابوا التلاميذ معدل 15/20. والله صار لي 15 سنة بعلم، بحياتي ما شفت صف هيك. يا عيب الشوم، أول مرة بحياتي بتصير. أنت جاد بتضلك تجيب 20/20، مش خجلين جبت 9/20؟ اتضحك.
Now let's see basit.nation's TikTok calling out Toufiluk for ripping him off.
معقول كل يوم بجد درسكن ساعتين،
كل يوم بيجي بعلمكم ساعتين، كل يوم
ساعتين من
قلبي بعلمكم.
آخر شي تجيبولي معدل
آخر شي تجيبوا لي هيك علامات؟
معقول؟
Got you, motherfucker!
برو كلمة يعني كوبي بيست، مش انه شيء. هيدا واحد. اثنين، هيدا تاني فيديو قريت لي اياه. اول فيديو قرأت لي اياه تبع مشاريع الجامعة. 3 قلت له حط لي كريدتس على انستا، شو عمل؟ حط لي @space basit.nation. انا عم يتذاك علي، ما فيك تكبس علي، فكرني مسطول. 4 كل الكومنتس عاملين لي سبورت، وانا الكومنت حاطه قايل له اعطيني فيه كريدتس جاي عليه شي 100 لايك، ما حيهم. مش بس هيك، عرضتهم بلوك للي عاملين لي سبورت. 5 حكيته دي امز، قلت له شو بك خي؟ قال لي برو ما هيدي قريتها من كرييتر في انستغرام مترجمه. انا ايه منيحه. منيحه.
I gotta say, I really like this guy because I love it when people call someone else out. Like, he could have easily just stayed quiet about it. He was like, fuck nah, bro. I love the video that he made, just comparing both. He's got both on top of each other. You can clearly see it with your own eyes. Like, Toufiluk literally ripped it off 100%. مثل ما قال, like, copy paste. He even wore the same fucking clothes. He used the same numbers, like 10/20, 10/20, 15/20, Jad. Like, bro, what the... And then he mentioned that, like, Toufiluk didn't give him credit, and then when he did give him credit, كتب له اسمه غلط. When you check out Toufiluk's Instagram, زبط له إياها. Now you can click on Basit Nation. He fixed it. Credits to Basit Nation. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, and I'm not trying to blow any smoke up my own ass, but when I first did my Toufiluk parody, like 3 months ago or 4 months ago now, my Toufiluk special episode, so many people were like warning me about going after Toufiluk, and so many people were afraid of him. A lot of industry people who you would never think were afraid of a guy like that, were like, dude, watch out, Toufiluk. Ever since that video came out, I feel like people are way more comfortable in calling him out for shit. No one gives a fuck anymore. So A, I'm happy about that. I'm happy that no one takes Toufiluk seriously at all anymore. And B, you can be inspired by someone and give them credit. You can be inspired by someone's idea, do something similar, but make it your own, change it up. Hey, what Toufiluk did is literally, he took someone's idea, stole it, عملها هي زيتها, and then put it on his Instagram, and then he got all the likes, he got the follows, he got the subscribers, and he does that all the time. He steals tweets, like we talked about Grave Jones's tweet. His Clubhouse bio is stolen from Basil on Twitter. He steals TikToks, even that thing that got him in trouble with the Lebanese passport. He stole that from someone else. Nothing Toufiluk does is original. So you have to ask yourself, why the fuck is the guy famous? He just takes stuff other people does and reposts it, doesn't give people credit. And he has over 40,000 followers. It's fucking mind-blowing, bro. It is fucking mind-blowing. that these people with such a big audience, they just fucking steal shit. He doesn't give a fuck. Even when people call him out, he doesn't give a shit because he knows in 2-3 days everyone's gonna forget about it and move on. If someone leaves a comment, like George said, he fucking blocks them. Toufiluk has blocked a lot of my supporters, a lot of my followers. He blocked me on Instagram. So all he does, he'll just block someone who calls him out for the truth. You know what I mean? And then his dumbass followers will keep thinking that he comes up with all this shit. It's pathetic. It's pathetic. And like, it's kind of illegal. You know what I mean? You shouldn't steal people's ideas. You shouldn't steal their content. And yeah, what a fucking sleazebag. What a sleazebag. And props to basit.nation for not fucking taking this shit lying down and for speaking out against it. So yeah, we got you, Toufiluk. This is just a quick update. If you guys will remember, I've talked about Chada, who is a famous TikTok personality here in Lebanon. A very unique and special person, I'll just say that. He made some TikToks that I commented on a while back, talking about dating underage girls. Then I kind of fucked with him over that. Then he made some TikToks clarifying those comments that he made. Then I mentioned in another episode of my podcast, I mentioned his comments and gave him some credit for clarifying. Just because I thought it was the right thing to do. You know what I mean? I like to give people credit when they do something nice. Well, Chada saw my episode of the podcast giving him credit, and he took it upon himself to make a TikTok thanking me for giving him credit. Here was the caption. He says, "Thank you for mentioning me on your podcast and giving credit." And let us watch the TikTok that he made. He basically cut up a bunch of parts where I talk about him on my podcast and posted it on his TikTok. Let us watch it together.
في أهالي صايرين أول ما بيخلق الولد يعملوا له بروفايل على السوشيال ميديا وينزلوا له صوره من دون أي احترام لخصوصيته.
Chada has released 2 recent TikToks, and actually I'm going to give Chada some credit for that. That was kind of in reference to the video I made about a young little baby whose parents are like using her as a product on Instagram to sell clothes. They're not the only parents to do that to their kid, but he's kind of talking about something similar. Check that out. I want to give him some credit for these videos, man. Okay, I want to give him credit for clarifying some of that other stuff in that other video. But I also like the fact that he's discouraging parents from having their kids on Instagram at an early age and from using them. He's taking the right steps. In honor of Chada doing the right thing, I gotta be honest with you guys. I never thought I'd live to see the day where Chada would be talking about me on his TikTok and would have a whole TikTok dedicated to me. So what I would like to do now is take a moment to give Chada some credit for making a TikTok giving me credit for giving him credit for doing the right thing. See that? Ball's back in your court now, Joseph. Back in your court. I wanted to say thank you. I find it cool that you're watching the podcast. I have a feeling you're going to be watching this episode now. You know, these are definitely strange times. You know, we got the Pentagon talking about UFOs. You got me defending Toufiluk in episode 20 of the podcast. You got Chada making TikToks about me, Anthony, his arch nemesis. Interesting times. Will they lead to even more interesting events? Stay tuned, folks. Okay, folks, friends. Let's talk about Friends for a second now. As you guys know, if you guys watch the early episodes of my podcast, I used to go over the Lebanese Netflix top 10, and Friends was usually always in the Lebanese Netflix top 10. It's this evergreen show. People are always happy to watch it. I know like 7 people who watch Friends on a daily basis. Like, that show is still a phenomenon. I know it was canceled in 2004. But like, people still fucking love Friends. And I'm the kind of person who tends to make fun of people who watch Friends all the time. But that is not to say that I don't like Friends. So granted, I make fun of people who watch Friends. I like to poke fun at the series. I like to tease people who watch it all the time. Anytime I see it on the Netflix top 10, I am going to make a joke about it. But I gotta be honest, Friends is a fucking fantastic show. Like, me just being completely objective, I fucking love Friends. Like, and just being honest, I think it is in the top 3 greatest sitcoms of all time. Like, it's up there with Seinfeld and with like The Office probably. I'd say those 3 are the funniest sitcoms ever made. It is incredibly witty. Like, the writing on that show is fucking fantastic. It is flawless. You can hardly sit through an episode without laughing out loud a number of times. The casting is fantastic. Every single character is perfectly cast in their role. You can't think of these characters played by anyone else. It truly is a fantastic and incredible show. So I just want to make that clear to my viewers. It's a fucking awesome show. And as much as I'm going to fuck with people who watch Friends and stuff like that, no one can take that away. Even if you don't like Friends and even if you don't find it funny, you can't deny how good of a show it is. Those are just my 2 cents. And by the way, if you're wondering who my favorite friend is, it's always been Chandler. It's always going to be Chandler. Chandler's the funniest. So I thought it'd be fair to talk about the Friends reunion. It was all over social media. Everyone on the planet was extremely excited about that reunion, so I thought it was only fair for me to talk about it. Now, what did I think of the reunion overall, quickly, before getting into the good, the bad, and breaking it down in detail? I liked the reunion. Overall, I thought it was a cute, fun, fine reunion, but overall, I think it was slightly a missed opportunity. I think it would have been better they could have still done that reunion, the whole like sitting with James Corden and all that, although I hate James Corden. But they could have still done something like that while still at least delivering one traditional Friends episode. And I know that they said, like, if we were to do an episode, we'd have to unwind so many plot lines. And honestly, I think that's just an excuse. I think you could have easily done an episode where they all find themselves at like a retreat for a vacation. They haven't hung out in a few years. They're all back together and you shoot an episode that way. Some of their kids are involved. Goofy shenanigans. You don't have to get into their personal problems or life troubles or stuff like that. I think they could have done it. And I'm going to speculate as to why I don't think they did that. But that's what I think they should have done. But overall, it was nice seeing them again. It was emotional. I teared up a few times, even though I'm not the biggest Friends fan in the world. It's just hard. The older I get, the more emotional I get when I watch stuff. It has become very easy to make me cry when watching something. I don't like that. That's kind of a problem. But I do think it was fine overall. It lacked some punch, I would say. It felt a little bit awkward at times. It felt a little bit cheap at times. And like I mentioned, it kind of felt like a missed opportunity. But overall, I can't complain too much. Now, I'm going to talk about the good. What did I mostly like about it? Well, and I'm going to read off my notes. It was nice to see the cast again. You know, it was nice to see what these guys are up to. Most of them had a bunch of Botox done. I think it's safe to say that Matt LeBlanc and Lisa Kudrow, Phoebe and Joey, looked the most normal. Matt LeBlanc looks literally like has not done anything to himself. The biggest culprits of the plastic surgery, I'd say, are Monica and Ross. A lot of Botox guys, and Jennifer Aniston too as well. But it's great to see them again. It's great to see them genuinely being happy around one another. It was very emotional to see fans from all over the world sharing their stories. Fans from India, fans from Africa, fans from like Australia, wherever, people just sharing their stories. Because again, we all know someone like that. We all know like 30 people here in Lebanon who are obsessed with Friends. Quick note, we saw David Beckham, who still looks like he's 22 years old. How the fuck do you do it, David Beckham? Okay, how much children's blood are you drinking every morning to maintain that young physique? There was also a moment where Ross and Monica's parents from the show, I forgot their names, like the actors who played them, showed up and mentioned how like they considered the actors to be like their real kids. That was actually very sweet and very emotional. Matt LeBlanc, I loved seeing Matt LeBlanc. Like, Joey was never my favorite character on the show, but Matt LeBlanc is by far my favorite actor of all of them. Like, watching him, he really felt like a normal, regular dude. Everyone started calling him like the uncle on Twitter, and he really did feel like an uncle, like a lovable uncle. Loved Matt LeBlanc. Hilarious. Felt like such a down-to-earth dude. There were a couple of moments and segments in the reunion that were fun. Like, the trivia part was pretty fun. The Smelly Cat performance with Phoebe and Lady Gaga was pretty cool. And actually, I called it when Phoebe was playing Smelly Cat all alone. I was like, they're going to bring in a fucking choir to join her. Y'all just wait and see. Lady Gaga walked in. I was like, oh, okay, they might not do the choir. Then 2 minutes later, boom, choir comes in. I was like, fucking called it. There was a scene where Matt LeBlanc was giving credit to David Schwimmer, who plays Ross, for his acting in the leather pants scene where he's trying to get the leather pants on, but they're too tight, so he puts the cream and then it forms a paste. And I actually agreed with Matt LeBlanc because that is one of my favorite scenes. And when like Ross is like, it's forming some kind of a paste.
Still not coming on, man, and the lotion and the powder have made a paste.
I've always found that to be one of the funniest lines and one of the funniest moments in Friends. So for Matt LeBlanc to call out that scene in particular, I just loved that, selfishly. And there was an extremely interesting fun fact that I guess I learned for the first time. I don't know if hardcore fans of the series already knew that, but David Schwimmer and Jennifer Aniston kind of had a thing for each other. So Ross and Rachel actually had a crush on each other in real life, and that just makes the show take on this entire extra layer. And it makes it all the more interesting. Now, anytime I ever watch a scene between Ross and Rachel, I'm now going to interpret so much more into it, because now you note that the actors actually had this deep love for one another that they never really felt that they could act upon, either because each one of them was already in a relationship when they ever tried to get together, or, the fact that they worked together made things complicated. But what a fascinating thing to know. At least I found it incredibly fascinating, and it adds such a real and palpable layer to the Ross and Rachel saga. I felt kind of sad for them, although they're like some of the richest TV actors and actors of all time. These guys still make millions of dollars every year on residual checks for Friends. I kind of felt bad for them in a weird fucking way. Let's quickly talk about the bad. I have to mention this, and I hate mentioning this, but Matthew Perry. Now, Matthew Perry has struggled with addiction for many years. I think like alcohol, drugs, all sorts of shit. I feel very bad that he had to go through that, but you can kind of tell that he was still struggling in this episode. He's the person who spoke the least. When he did speak, his mouth and like his tongue was extremely heavy. He was slurring his words, barely able to speak. Now, they came out and said that he had like dental surgery and stuff. Look, I don't want to be a dick, but I don't buy that at all. Okay, what are the chances that the one dude who's struggled a lot with addiction over the past few years, just so happened to have dental surgery before the reunion and was slurring his words? It wasn't just he looked out of it, okay? He barely talked. His body language was off. I honestly hope Matthew Perry's doing well. I fucking love Chandler. I hope you're doing good, Matthew Perry, man. But like, it was very distracting seeing him there. It was very sad seeing him doing like that. I thought he might have gotten better over the years. I don't think so. Now, again, I have no knowledge of his fucking addiction and stuff, but it just seemed to me that he was really, really, really out of it, and I could feel it. And I was mentioning earlier that I really think that they should have done an actual episode for the reunion. I think that Matthew Perry is the reason they're not able to do it. I really think he's way too out of it at this point. He's way too addicted to stuff that he can't perform the way he used to, and he's just going to be too fucked up on set. I honestly really think that is the main reason why they don't do a traditional reunion. I might be completely off base. This is just conjecture. This is just what I think. But I think Matthew Perry is unable to come back and perform in order for them to do a traditional reunion. They had a modeling segment. I fucking hated that. It felt so out of place. Random fucking cameos by like Justin Bieber and stuff. Incredibly stupid. Thought that was a waste of time. And James Corden. I hate James Corden. Anytime you put James Corden in anything, he and Russell Brand are like two people that I absolutely cannot stand. So anytime Russell Brand shows up somewhere or James Corden, I'm going to hate whatever thing it is. So those are my biggest negatives. And the fact that I think it should have been a more traditional episode reunion rather than a, whatever the fuck they ended up doing. So in conclusion, I thought it was fun. I thought it was fine. It was kind of sad though, because now Friends is really, really over. And I think Monica says that at some point in the reunion, but like, when Friends ended in 2004, there was always the allure of a reunion. Like, when's the reunion happening? When's the reunion happening? When are you guys going to do a reunion? Fucking 17 years later, the reunion happened. Now what? There's not going to be another one. They're not going to reunite another 15 years. And I think that's what one of the actors said on set. But that's true. They're not going to do a second one of these reunions. So in a way, it would have been better if they never did this reunion, because Friends fans would have always had the reunion to look forward to. Like, one day they'll make a reunion. One day they'll make a reunion. Well, now the reunion happened. There's nothing left. It's done. Friends is officially done. You can go back and watch the old seasons. You can go back and watch the reunion hundreds of times, but you're never going to get any new Friends-related material. And I think that is the most depressing part of it all. And, that's when it hits you that, like, damn, it's really done. And I'm super happy for all the fans. Again, I know I make fun of you guys all the time, but I'm happy for everyone. Look, I liked it. It was a cool reunion. Not everything that I would have wanted, but again, I'm not the biggest Friends fanatic on the planet. It was good enough for me. Wish they did some stuff differently. And honestly, I just wish Matthew Perry the best, and I hope he gets out of whatever he's in. We got you, buddy. And you have friends, bro. Like, you have some of the best friends on earth that are by your side. Please get better. Yeah, that was my review. Folks, thank you so much for tuning in to episode 21 of Do Not Worry. Please take a second to like this video. Leave a comment. Your engagement is extremely helpful with these videos. Take a second to subscribe to the channel if you have not yet. Become a Do Not Warrior. I'm launching a second podcast at the end of the month, start of July. Stay tuned. It's going to be a lot of fun. Remember, no episode next week. I'm taking a week off, spending some time with my parents, so I appreciate you guys understanding. I'm going to miss you guys, okay? Take that time to catch up on some other episodes, watch some UFO content. Shit's going to get crazy. Thanks again, folks, and as usual, do not worry.